Welcome back, Warriors, back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2. I took a couple days off just to kind of get re-energized and actually came up with a bunch of different ideas that we'll talk about. And I kind of do a few videos today, and we'll see how all that goes. I got the sunlight coming back there. So once again, thank you for all the subscriptions and all the likes and comments. It's really greatly appreciated. And I kind of went through a lot of the different things that I had been doing at this point, and I'm going to go focus a little bit more on some of the things that can kind of help you when it comes to using retention, but also adding to it from both a spiritual and a physical and a mental side. And so that's kind of what we're doing in this channel, is just trying to bring out different topics at different times to kind of see if makes a difference in things that you guys are thinking about. And certainly, comment. I'm not the expert, as I've always said, on this. I've taught for many years when it comes to communication, some of the things, and I'm not even an expert with that. So I'll focus on trying to help you in this information. So this one, I thought about this over the last couple days, and the interesting part to me is that we're going to name this one the C model for success. And so let's talk about this one a little bit. And the C model for success really is the idea of control, which comes obviously from retention and all the things you learn about. And with that, and then you have confidence that comes from the control, and then communication comes from that. And so what you're doing is you're going to go ahead and you're going to do your plan. And we'll talk about this in another video, but you'll be one of the 1% who's on this journey. That's about what we have, I believe, is what I've heard. About 1% of people on this journey of retention. Now, I just hit 480 days, so we're getting there. Hard mode, like I said, it's not easy, so I'm kind of staying totally away from everything, and I'm getting better with that part of it. Obviously, still the thoughts and things like that will come through. And you just have to kind of adjust to those and do the transmuting and everything we talked about before. But the first level of this is really the confidence, is the retention and the control. Once you are able to control things and you're in that 1%, you really think, and life becomes different, my friends. It's a whole different type of atmosphere. You don't look at images, you don't look at women or men as objects, as just kind of short-term pleasure types of things. You're looking for long-term types of things. You're focusing on life in a whole different way. You're not living for that short-term gratification. You're not putting women on the pedestal. You're not going to go ahead and say, okay, I need to have intercourse. I need to have myself losing energy in all kinds of different ways. I don't need to do that. And I think that once you get a different mentality that you don't need that, then all of a sudden you start thinking to yourself, well, this is really what life should be about. Life shouldn't be about chasing girls around. Life shouldn't be about just losing your energy whenever you want to, in any kind of situation you have. We see so much of that. And that's 99% of people brainwashed. People are brainwashed and thinking, and this is especially for men, brainwashed, and I guess I'm wrong, women too, now that I think about it, that having sex all the time is the greatest thing in the world, and I know, because I was there as well. And when you get brainwashed like that, you don't realize that it's really, you're living in the matrix here. Basically, it's the opposite of what they're saying. Yes, it's a great temptation, but we talked about this in another video. Lust is something that is so potent that it controls you. And now you're a slave to that. You're not in control. You're not in control when you see pictures or people going by, or you're not in control of that. Other people are dictating you because you want this so badly. You think this is the way to be a man. And guys, in my opinion, it's the opposite. It's not the way to be a man. The way to be a man is to have self-control and be able to control yourself so you can dictate things the way you want them in your own life. If you're not in control, someone else is in control of you. And that's the bottom line. You're not in control. And if you're not in control, someone's controlling you. And that's where you don't want to be. And so control is the first one. We'll talk about this more in a separate video too. But the second one then is confidence. I had a lack of confidence for many, many years, mainly because I could not control myself. And the old saying is, if you can't control yourself, everything else controls you. And so, confidence-wise, you can see why a person would have lower confidence, because they don't believe they're in control. And, in the long run, we're not really in control of a lot of things. I believe that God in heaven is in control of a lot of our lives. But that's my personal belief. But you can control things that you can control. And that's the whole thing. I think, God gives you the idea of being able to control what you can control, and you can't, the peace to know you can't control certain things. There are certain things you can have an influence on. And certainly controlling yourself and not going ahead and falling for all temptations and falling for all the things around you is a key point. Well, once you learn that control, there's a confidence that comes from that you know that you can actually kind of say no. And now you become a very attractive person, right? And because of that, now all people are interested and unique. You are the 1%, using the C model of success, I call it. The 1%. And so people want that 1%. They don't know why you're the 1% sometimes. They instinctively know you have a high level of energy. You're able to say no. You're not able to put up with a lot of BS and things like that. But they don't know why that's the case. And I think that's the whole idea when it comes to this whole thing we're talking about, is that you want to make sure that you are in control and that you gain that confidence. And confidence is by repetition, by visualizing all these things that you want to become. But it becomes so much easier when you're retaining and you're controlling, because now you know you can do anything. If you can do this, and I know after 480 days, I know that I can do this. I'm going to continue doing this for a long time. And the idea is that even if I do relapse, I'm going to go back and do it again, because I know that this is the truth. This is the truth, And because of that, I'm way being free, because I can understand the truth is not what people say to you. I believe a lot of things that we're seeing out there in society are controlling. They're controlling you, and you got to be free. You cannot allow people to control you. Your confidence is what hurts you. It may not be a direct type of thing, but it's indirect. And people are putting images out there to try to control you one way or the other, with the food you're eating, all the things you're doing. You're trying to, the health business make a ton of money with the idea that you're sick. Because you're sick, they're making tons of money. And I don't believe that you should put anything in your body, food or otherwise, that is going to hurt you. And I think that's a big issue with us. We're not just be taking stuff in visually, in your mind, orally, anything like that, that's going to hurt you. And I think that's what's happening a lot of times. We get into that lust, into the idea of thinking the wrong way, and we get caught up with that stuff. And so you're talking about the C models is control, right, from the retention and the journey. Control, confidence that comes from that. And the other part of this is communication. Now, I've had a lot of years of teaching communication, especially at the college level, and so I'm going to bring a lot of that into the discussions. We talk about things like listening and nonverbal communication, all these things that are important. But the idea here is that the ability to be confident, you exude a certain level of communication with other people. People respect you more. You're not always kind of being the center of attention. You're listening to people more. You're able to focus on things more. You're able to work out problems. You're not afraid of rejection. You can come up to somebody and talk to somebody. You can initiate conversations. All these type of things we're going to talk about, because these things are important in you kind of reinforcing to somebody that you're in charge. And you should be in charge. You're the man. You should be in charge. Now, once again, we've got things so backwards in society that we've kind of gone the other way. And all of a sudden, men are afraid to be in control. They're afraid they're going to get some kind of backlash or upset. And yeah, there's going to be people out there that don't like this. Of course. You're going to get criticized. because you're going against the grain of what people want to have happen for some reason. They want the males to become very weak, and you can't let that happen. I've seen too much of it over the years, and you've got to stop it. And so males need to kind of rise up and say, look, we're going to become the men again. And even though you might be the 1% now, I have a feeling that's going to grow and grow and grow. So the C model of communication, my friends, is very, very important for men and women. I think women, you can use the same type of technique when it comes to control, confidence. You know, a lot of the brahmacharya stuff and the retention applies to women as well. I think certainly men and women have it. I mean, look at guys, we're just all human beings. We're all energy. So women and men, it affects differently in different ways, but it's still the same energy. So a control for a woman is very important as well. You know, and I think we've lost that, especially with our 20-year-olds, and you know, we've lost that type of idea that this is important. And you know, celibacy, you know, brahmacharya, sophism, I mean, those are, you know, some people look at that and say, you know, you're insane. But I go back to the Roman Empire and the Greeks and all the dynasties that fell apart. And it's very apparent when you look at that. And I'm going to do something on Plato too, because I saw some interesting stuff that I want to kind of bring to the discussion at some later point. But when you look at these type of things, there's a reason why they suggested that you should have all kinds of chastity, and you should also be, you know, celibate, because they realized that the power, even back in thousands of years ago, they realized the power of this energy that people have, and that they cannot look at people as objects, and they destroy themselves, you know, through Caligula. I'm also talking about Marcus Aurelius and some of the ideas he had. It all goes back down to the fact that once a society becomes, you know, they have no rules and values, and they have no control in themselves, then they run amok, and they end up killing each other, or bringing down the things that they had were good, because they become so lustful. And this is what happens with people. And they talk about that in the Bible. You look at the history of the Roman Empire and all kinds of empires, German, you know, the English Empire, Ottoman, all kinds of different empires you had, and you're kind of focusing on, it was all destroyed from within. Yeah, certainly people came in later, you know, took over, but it was first weakened and destroyed by within. And I see that happening now with all the lustful behaviors that we see on a daily basis. So you have to get away from that, and you have to get to the point of using a plan. And this C plan, to me, is the key thing. Once again, the C model, I'm going to be talking about this a lot, C model of success, in my opinion, from Vigor Warriors 2, is that you're going to have the C model talking about control, confidence, and communication. Until next time, have a great day.